We'll go ahead and mill this to thickness now along with the other aprons. Remember, we want all of them to be the same thickness. Now, one other thing I should point out, it's really important that you keep track of what's the front side of this, so that when we go to mill this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one pass off of this front surface on the jointer and then get the rest of it down to thickness by removing it off the back. I will also take one pass off the front of my drawer front, and then when I'm ready to mill it, or I'll mill it at the same time, I will remove the rest of the material off the back. If I remove a different amount off of the apron and the drawer front, then my grain's not going to match anymore. So it's really important you keep track of that, keep track of which face is forward, and then you should get a nice grain match when this is all together. So if you don't keep track of that, you might be disappointed with your results. One last thing to keep in mind here. Remember, when I cut these parts, I cut them about a 1/16 oversize so that I could straighten them if I needed to. Now, it turns out I didn't need to, but I need to take a 1/16 off of them during this milling process. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that the jointer is set at a 32nd of an inch. I'm going to take one pass, and then I'm going to turn this around and take another pass. So those two 32nds should get me down to my, of course, 1/16, and then this should be a 1/2 inch thick, or a 1/2 inch wide. The reason I turn it around is you cannot always be certain that the jointer's taking an even cut. I mean, if everything's set up perfectly, it should be fine. But just in case it takes off a little more off one end than the other, if I take a pass and turn it around and take another pass, then I'll be assured that this stays an even thickness. I will then cut this on the table saw along with the other aprons to my correct width plus a 32nd. I'll joint the other edge, and then I should be good to go. All right, I've milled the parts to thickness and width. Now I need to cut them to length. So cutting the rear apron and the two side aprons to length, that's no big deal. But the front apron, of course, I want to center the drawer. So what I'm going to do here is find the middle of this opening. And I did mark, you probably can't see, it's kind of light here, but I did mark a triangle on here and on the drawer front to keep track of what's the front face there. So what I'm going to do is, there's my 0 at 10, and I'm at 20 and a half, which is 10 and a half. So the middle of that, the middle of 10 and a half is 5 and a quarter. So there's the middle of this opening. My apron is 16 and 3/4 long, so I need to come 8 and 3/8 on either side of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line 18 and 3/8 up with that, and then that makes 10 my 0, and 26 and 3/4 is the other end of that. There we go. So in order to use my 0 clearance indicator on my chop saw, I need a line all the way across there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the aprons are ready to go. They're surfaced 4 sides and cut to length. So next up, we can make the tenons on the aprons.